No matter how good your smartphone may be, it really doesn't matter if the thing goes dead at like 2 p.m. and maybe you don't have a charger nearby. Now, luckily, there are a lot of things you can do to extend the battery life on your Android smartphone. But today I'm going to talk about a few different options. Two of them I pretty much never see talked about, and then a third one that is slightly less common than the average battery tip that you can pretty quickly implement to extend the life of the battery on your Android device. Now, in this video, I'm going to be doing these tips on a Microsoft Surface Duo 2 because that is the device that I daily drive, but these tips will work on pretty much any Android device that you want to extend that battery life on. So let's look at tip number 1 first. These devices pretty much know where you are all the time. They are constantly using GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth to determine your location. And some of these things are going to actually hurt your battery life. So the first tip you can do is to go into your settings and scroll down and look for location. Now, again, this is on a Surface Duo, but this should pretty much look the same on every Android device. Look for location and then scroll down a little bit and you should see Wi-Fi and Bluetooth scanning. Click on that and turn both of these things off. Basically, what these things are going to be doing when they are on is they're going to be scanning, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to find things which have known locations to then determine where you are. But that's a lot of scanning that it does pretty much all the time, and that does actually negatively impact your battery life. Now, it's not going to make a colossal difference, right? I'm not going to tell you that you're going to go from 4 hours of screen time to 8 hours of screen on time, but it is going to help a little bit. You can actually go one step further and turn off Google location accuracy, but I find that some apps require that to be on. If you're someone like me and you like to order ahead when you're going to a fast food place, some of these apps may say, hey, without this on, we're not going to be able to find the local restaurant. Now, you can simply type in your zip code, so you may be able to get around that. And if you want to extend your battery life even more and that kind of stuff doesn't bother you, turn that off as well, and that'll give you just an extra step further. Now, this next couple of tips are going to require you enabling developer mode, and they are a little bit more intense than this prior one, but I think that they are worth doing. So to enable developer mode, scroll down until you see About down here at the bottom. Click on that. Scroll down until you see Build Number. And then you're just going to simply click on Build Number until you see you are now one step away. Click it again. Type in your PIN. You are now a developer. Now you can back out. And it may be under System. Some phones just have it on the open, but usually it's under System. And then you will now see Developer Options. So click on that. And right here on this first page, you're going to look for Running Services. So when you click on this, this is going to let you see everything going on your phone right now. Now, it's important for you to understand what we're doing here. So this screen doesn't enable you to really make too many changes. Pretty much all you can do here is click on something and then stop that app from running. But that doesn't necessarily prevent it from opening back up again later. This is more just to let you see what's going on, to advise you as to what apps and what things might need to be altered. And mine is already pretty cleaned out, but you can see a couple of things here. First off, you can see the memory, your RAM being used by system, RAM being used by apps, and then your free RAM. You just saw Instagram just popped up and did something there. I'm not using Instagram, but it popped up and did something briefly. So that kind of behavior is going to use battery. You can see Overdrop here has something going on. Well, the reason Overdrop has something going on is because that is my widget. So this is just going to let you kind of discover what your phone is doing behind the scenes. So let's say there's Wendy's popping up into RAM and doing something. Why would Wendy's be able to do that? So then perhaps you could go and long press on Wendy's and either uninstall it should you just think, wow, whatever it's doing is not worth that being in the background. Maybe not. Let's go into the app information. And maybe you might want to go into battery and battery restrictions and then restrict that app and say, hey, no more popping up in the background like that unless I'm actively using this application. I'll give you a good example as to something that I discovered while doing this. A while back, I was testing a smartwatch by Mobboy, which was not a Wear OS watch. You can see here that Wear OS is running in the background, and the reason it's running is because it's listening for notifications to pass them through to my watch. Well, this other watch I had reviewed was not Wear OS, so the Mobboy app was still running in the background, listening for notifications to send to a watch I was no longer wearing. So that told me, hey, something's going on there that's going to be using my battery. So I selected that. And then I went into this notification collector, I hit settings, and I turned that off. I made Mob Boy's app no longer able to see notifications. That app then went away, and presumably that saves me battery life. So you're gonna have to dig into this on your own. Don't do anything too crazy. If you don't know what it is, use Google, research what these apps might be if you're confused about them. And if you see something running here that you aren't using, that you don't know what it is, it might be something you can uninstall. It may be a permission that you can revoke that you're not really using anymore. Play it by ear, but it's definitely a great place to start. So the last battery tip is still in developer options. You're going to scroll pretty much all the way down here to the bottom. You're going to look for standby apps. And when you click on this, you're going to see the list of apps that are on your phone. You're going to see a standby state next to them, which have various different meanings. And I found a good list of what these kind of mean on droidviews.com. So thanks to them for this little list. If it says active, basically that means that that app is not restricted at all. It can do whatever it wants to do in the background. Working set means that jobs may be deferred for up to 2 hours. So it's able to do most of what it wants, but it is a little bit restricted. Frequent means jobs may be postponed up to 8 hours. This is slightly more restricted. And then rare is extremely restricted. So the stuff is going to be put off for the longest amount of time. This thing isn't really ever going to run in the background. So if we go back here to my phone, you'll see here, let's look at Backdrops. Backdrops is a wallpaper app. This thing should not be able to do anything in the background. There's absolutely no need for it to ever do anything. I don't get notifications from it. We're going to set this thing to rare. How about an app I use for guitar tabs? We're going to set that to rare. We don't need it doing anything in the background. You may also see exempted, and basically what that means is you can't change this one. The Play Store is going to do what it's going to do, and you can't really stop it. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to go through these, and you're going to look for apps that don't make any sense to be set to a higher level, and you're going to just set them to rare, things that you don't want background work being done on. Now, I would encourage you to kind of keep an idea here, kind of keep a list of what you've changed, so that if something stops working correctly, well, you're going to then know what you changed and you can go back and fix it. And then maybe once you're done, go back to running services and just kind of watch it for a little while and see if you don't see fewer apps randomly popping up, like when I did this earlier, just randomly happening. Instagram, Wendy's, things are just popping up, randomly checking in on things. No idea why those apps think that they need to be able to pop up or run in the background. I don't want them to be doing that. And now it appears like they no longer can. And this should, in theory, help improve your battery life over time. And my experience is that yes, it has helped improve my batteries. I did these things for the most part. You saw what I did here. I did most of this already though a few days ago, and I did see a little bit of an improvement there in the duration of my batteries. Nothing world changing, but every little bit does help. So guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for making it to the end of today's video. If these fixes, these changes, these tips have any positive effect on your device, please let me know in the comments down below. If you have any other tips you want to share, also drop those in the comments. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.